Hello, it's Tom Hobden here calling with episode 7 of Dance Digital and Participation. Episode 7 is with the amazing, incredible Wayne Parsons of Voxed. I say all these wonderful things because actually Wayne's my really good friend. Wayne is a choreographer, he's a dancer, he's an educator, and we've known each other for a good about 3 or 4 years. Now, I noticed on my own little Facebook feed that Wayne had been popping up his new project, Goggle Dance, and I was like, what is this all about? Can you tell us? And I thought, what a brilliant place to start this interview. Wayne is a little bit like Alyssa, and Lucy is a kind of self-confessed non-techie, but has made his first steps, is enjoying it, and will reveal that a little bit in the interview. I think I've been talking too much, as per usual, so let's just jump straight into the intro. So, Wayne, tell us a little bit about like what you're up to at the moment. Like, what on earth is going on in your life and your world of dance?
What is going on in my life? So I have a project running called Goggle Dance. We originally, the plan for 2020 was to be touring an indoor work called Out Late, which is a dance theatre crime drama set in the round. Oh, wow. And we got the funding for that like a few weeks before we went into lockdown, and then obviously lockdown happened. So some replanning and some thinking had to happen as to what the rest of the year would look like. Mm-hmm. Did a couple of weeks of DIY, just kind of going, okay, so I'm just going to do some DIY now then. But thinking in the back of my mind, kind of what can I do? How can I respond to where I'm at the minute? And then started thinking about Goggle Dance and planning Goggle Dance, which is essentially a pop-up dance performance. I mean, it happens in two parts. So there's a pop-up dance performance that happens outside people's homes. And then following that, we record all of that. We record people watching, and we record the performance that happens outside. And then that's brought together to make a little, what we call episode, that's going to form part of a mini series.
And then, you know, when you were saying actually you had to replan, so you've got a really clear idea in one place and then you've had to go to this other place. Yeah. Like, how much of the digital world, like, how much did that affect it? Had you already been like, oh, I quite like this digital thing. This was an idea in the back of my head. This was quite an easy transition. I don't know, there's lots of questions there.
So for me, I've never done a project like this that has a digital focus like this and a digital output like this, I should say. So I've always wanted, with my indoor works, it's always been my desire to transpose them to film, and not just get a live stream, but rather make a dance film version of it for screen. Yeah. But I've never had the funding to do it. And, you know, with my last work, it didn't happen. Without Late, there was a possibility for that to happen, and what I'd started to do was make different sort of ancillary content. So interviews with the characters, interviews with the dancers, just a lot of sort of kind of supporting material that was all digital, but no kind of digital specific works. Okay. But this is the first one that I've kind of been, the end game is the digital episodes, the mini series that's going out, and that's going to feel very akin to a sort of a goggle box in some ways. It's people watching dance, commenting on dance, joining in with dance. So it's the first project that I've kind of worked on where the end result is actually a digital output.
Okay, and like thinking about the sort of the participation side of it as well, it's like, I mean, I'm always really excited by this, but it sounds super democratic, you know, in terms of it's like the dance belongs with the people inside it and the people on the outside of it, and then you're also putting it on these really democratic places as well. So because like theatre's changed, you know, it's like not, I don't know, like we're putting it on lots of screens in lots of places. Like, yeah, tell me about that. Is that what you were thinking, or?
I mean, originally the idea was kind of going, so how can I respond to where we're at now? How can I make a live element happen? Mm-hmm. How can that result in a digital element that can be shared, whilst kind of it almost being a sort of snapshot into local communities? So it's very locally focused. It can be, you know, the network that the theatre already has or the venue already has. They're reaching out to that network and getting them engaged with live art again. Mm-hmm. And then I started, you know, at the very beginning, it was just like, right, this is going to be a dance that happens outside your window and that's 10 minutes. And I kind of went, well, that's quite a long time, and is that fun? And also the participants watching, is it going to be that interesting watching people watch dance? So then it kind of evolved, and now the live element is split up into 3 sections. So it's a watch us section, and during that, the professional dancer outside their homes will be doing a little solo dance, but we're using the same technology that is used for silent disco. So the show is relayed through headphones for the participants, and they get like quick fire questions that they've got to respond to that kind of relate to something that's happening outside, that get them talking about dance in a way that's like just not stressful. Like, what do you see? What are they feeling? Just to, to sort of, I think some people are a bit scared of dance, and actually
100%.
we are all bodies, we are all humans. You can read bodies really easily if you take out the codified language, and it's kind of trying to access that with some of these questions. And then the participation stuff, so there's a section watch us, and then there's a section called follow me, and that's essentially, it should feel like a party, it should feel like a wedding, it should feel like any other event that anyone has been to that's not a dancer. Everyone's joining in. There are tiny little tasks that people respond to. And then the last section is much shorter, and it's called Be You, and that's really open to anyone's interpretation. So we've got some people that like want to choreograph something, and they've like already got a tune, and they've got a costume planned, and they've got their whole like number ready to go. And then we've got others that are just like, actually just play this tune and I'll have a good old boogie. And it's kind of like a little sign off.
And like, anything ridiculous happened so far with all the testing? I mean, like, have people got wildly involved or stopped dancing or?
Yeah. So my niece, who is 7, she was in the trial. She just went absolutely crazy. She didn't follow the kind of structure of the performance at all, which is absolutely fine. But what she did was try to copy me straight away. So she was doing cartwheels, she was doing flips, and I was like, whoa, 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 careful, careful. So she had to kind of be controlled a little bit, just so she didn't hurt herself. But yeah, and then my, other people that we've trialed it on have had, a really good time. The responses have been great.
That's great.
Really
That's
good.
great.
And actually, it should be a feel-good moment, and the trials kind of did do that, which is great. There's a couple of technical hitches, but hey ho, that's how it goes.
And that's what's come up in the interviews, like week after week after week. Yeah, that's what happens with tech. You can't worry about it. And actually, my ethos with it is that community dance and participatory dance is about mistakes, and it's about all the nice patches in between. So you sort of have to let it happen, really. And then, would you start, like, has this reshaped? Hang on, because you are not Wayne Parsons Dance anymore now, are you? What are you?
Voxed.
I love that. More than anything, it's really cool, Voxed.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
With Voxed, like, will it now include digital Forever Are Men? Like, is this something you like, or not thought that far yet?
I would love to make it happen. How I make that happen, I'm not sure yet. But following the format, for a little while, I was kind of thinking, how does Goggle Dance fit into what Vox does? And also, how does Outlate fit into what Vox does? Because, with Goggle Dance, it's very inclusive. It's very much about having a good time and bringing people into dance and getting them moving. And with Outlate, it's very dark, like it's a crime drama. It's very different in tone. There is a script, it's underpinned by a script. So there's a lot of text. It feels like a play, but with movement. So the two things are very, very different, but I think there's definitely some learning from the Goggle Dance experience, just in terms of, perhaps it's about people watching a live stream of this and responding to Outlate in some way. Perhaps there's some learning from the sort of format and the engagement element of Goggle Dance that comes into Outlate, but yeah, I'm not there just yet.
Any top tips, Mr. Wayne Parsons? Any top tips for people getting going with this? Like anything with equipment or technical, or like you've just got started, or funding, anything?
Funding for digital stuff is still a mystery to me. I think ultimately for me, it's like, just give it a go. I mean, I dived in with this project kind of just going, I don't know. At the beginning, I had no idea how we were going to solve the music element and the live recording element, and how we were going to capture people's voices, and all of that was like, there were so many question marks going in that were like, I will sort that out later. Yeah. But sort of keeping hold of the integrity of the idea and then working the rest out as I went along. And I think, for somebody who doesn't do digital and hasn't done digital before and kind of wouldn't really call myself a digitally focused artist, yet here I am making a project that has a digital output as its final thing. You do sort of learn. You do. I mean, you know, there are degrees of complexity here. I understand that, and I'm not at, you know, as complex as it can get. You know, for me, working with silent disco technology, and that is kind of enough for me for now. That's just my little baby step in. But yeah, I think it's not losing sight of what that last goal is and what the flavor of that is, and then learning the rest along the way.
That's brilliant. That's really, really great. And any top tips for, you know, continuing? Well, it's not quite lockdown, but beyond lockdown. Anything that you're feeling as an artist? What will rescue us, Wayne?
There is more self-love happening now, I think, than there was before. I think, you know, being generous to myself, particularly at the beginning. I mean, now it's quite a busy period, but at the beginning when it was less busy, just accepting that that's where I was and that's where I needed to be for now. And actually I was walking around for a while going, I have nothing to do and that's fine. And then Goggle Dance happened and away we go. And, you know, that's not going to be the case for everyone, but like you, I've been doing some yoga. I've been meditating for the first time ever.
Okay.
And just trying to have a moment in each day where I just kind of ground myself.
That's brilliant. I asked this of everybody, Wayne, are you happy for people to get in touch with you? Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll do is I will drop all of the links below for the lovely Wayne Parsons and Voxed. And if you want to reach out to him, then absolutely do that. But thank you very much, Wayne. That was brilliant. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
And there we go. Another really great episode. Thank you so much, Wayne. I think it's just a really great story, right? You know, we've all been thrown into this lockdown, we've been thrown into this digital world, and some of us are just sort of feeling like we can get going with it. I think Wayne's version of Goggle Dance is a really brilliant example of that. He's not kind of sure about where to start, but, you know, had an idea, you know, had some people, and then has just got going with it. So I'm just going to really encourage you, all those people that are out there watching this, hoping to get some tips and ideas, just reach out to each one of these people because they would love to get in touch and really support you through any way of your kind of digital journey. Any tip is a good one and any support is going to be great, right? To be able to get these projects moving. It leaves me last of all just to say this: if you have enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to leave a comment below saying nice top, lovely hair, or Wayne is really fascinating, then please leave the comment below. If you would like to subscribe so you never miss anything from us again, then I would love you to subscribe. We have been growing and growing, and we are growing and growing continuously. This is my dancing happening here. I'm going to leave you with this last little part. We want to see everybody dancing every day. Have you danced today? I have danced today. My small dance was kind of a little singing in the rain moment because it was raining and I was singing and dancing in it. That's me, Tom Hobden, over and out, signing out until episode number 8. Number 8. That's amazing, right? See you there. All right, bye-bye.